holding midfielders with Monga, Mukasa and Mavididi as the attacking midfield three playing behind Daka. It's a 12:30 kickoff, Stoke City against Leicester City. Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary from one of the 12:30 kickoffs in the Championship today. It's at the Bet365 Stadium where Stoke City take on Leicester City. And normally, when we before the start of the season, before everything sort of unravelled for Leicester, you would have thought this would have been a game where both sides are pushing for promotion. But actually, it's only the home team, Stoke City, 5 points off the playoffs before kick-off against the Leicester side, who find themselves in the bottom three after that points deduction. It's a big game, and also a first game in charge for Gary Rowett at Leicester City. So we'll see how that all pans out for the Foxes this afternoon. And it's myself, Paul Shabakovic, and Joe Pearson taking about. Joe, looking at the way the game's going to pan out, you'd expect Stoke to get a good start here against Leicester, but Leicester under a new manager potentially maybe trying to sort of just alter the way things have been going for them recently.
Yeah, indeed. I think they'll want to try and set a good first impression of themselves with this new manager coming into it. Try and maybe relax as well. You know, sometimes it can be nervous coming into these sorts of games, especially when you're in the bottom three, going up against Stoke that are, going towards the playoffs. It can be a bit nerve-wracking coming into this, but they are unbeaten in their last 6 league away games against Stoke, so maybe a win for them here today. Absolutely, they won't be wanting to call on that sort of record as the ball comes in here from the right-hand side. Stoke's trying to get on the front foot straight away. There's a defensive header. Looks like it was a collie that's got his head to that one, so it's out for a corner. Just to remind you, the two teams were currently Simpkin in goal for Stoke, a back four of Cresswell, Phillips, Wilmot and Bocat. Seiko and Pearson are the holding midfielders, with Cisse, Bay and Thomas as the attacking midfield three behind Smith. For Leicester, it's Begovic in goal, back four of Ricardo Pereira, Akoli, Nelson and Christensen. Skip and Winks are the holding midfielders, with Monga, Mukasa and Mavididi as the attacking midfield three playing behind Daka. So first corner kick of the afternoon is going to be an in-swinger from the right-hand side off the left boot of Aaron Cresswell. We know he can get a lot of whip on these crosses, putting pressure on former Stoke City goalkeeper Asmir Begovic. Different time, of course, when he was here at the club. They were pushing for the top 6 in the Premier League. Here comes the ball in, though, headed up in the air. Looks like it was Nelson that got his head to that. Second header over on the left-hand side of the box is out for another corner. Yeah, very dangerous one whipped in there by Aaron Cresswell. It was one heading towards the goalkeeper, plenty of players around him, so he couldn't really push out for it and maybe make the mistake that he was going to drop it into the path of a Stoke player. It had to be dealt with by the Leicester defenders. This time he was lucky enough to have Ben Nelson in front just to head it backwards away from the goal. We're going to see another in-swinger from the left-hand side this time, and it's Sorba Thomas coming across to take this. I'm up here from Stoke's number 7. It's a low ball in this time towards the near post. There's been a bit of a scramble for it before Leicester do clear their lines. It's back over towards Sorba Thomas here on the left, and across comes in. It's Cresswell with a decent ball in, and it's into the back of the net. It's less than 3 minutes on the clock, and it's Stoke City who take the lead. Ben Wilmot with the header from, literally 2 yards. It was such a dangerous ball right into the goal effectively, and Leicester couldn't deal with it. Yeah, Paul, from Leicester there, they were slow to rush out onto that left-hand side where Sorba Thomas was. They didn't close him down quick enough. He played a nice little 1-2 and then whipped a lovely ball inside of the box, and there was Ben Wilmot, headed it straight into the ground, and it rattled into the roof of the net. There's nothing that Asmir Begovic could really do about that one, but like I said, just poor defended in the end by Leicester. Yeah, we could see Gary Rowett straight away on that touchline trying to bark some instructions out to his players. The corner kick initially was sort of scrambled clear towards the edge of the area, and it was kept alive. Sorba Thomas had enough space here just to look up, and then it was back to Cresswell. Cresswell's ball comes in. Wilmot certainly isn't offside when that ball comes in. Not sure there's any player interfering with play that would have been offside there, but the goal is headed into the net from just a couple of yards. Begovic couldn't do anything about it, so Leicester effectively have barely even had a touch of the ball. They've not really had any possession over the halfway line, and they're ready a goal down. Yeah, indeed, but like I said, they were just really slow to kind of react to that. It was Jeremy Monga who had come rushing out to try and close them down, but he had nobody in support with him. They needed somebody like Oliver Skipp there who did try and come out to Cresswell, but he wasn't quick enough. He needed Oliver Skipp to be a little bit quicker there, Jeremy Monga, and he wasn't, so it gave him, Aaron Cresswell, enough time just to whip the ball in. There was Ben Wilmot unmarked. Yeah, completely unmarked, as you say. There were Leicester players reacting to it, but he was always sort of leading towards that ball a little bit quicker than anybody else. Delight there for Wilmot, and now the ball back in play, headed up in the air by Smith.
before a header forward there from Skip. Leicester have got to try and get this ball down and actually trying to keep a bit of possession here to sort of respond to that early goal from Stoke City. As a long ball now from Wilmot, taken down here. Really good work there as well from DCC, saying it's out towards the right-hand side now for Zorba Thomas. Bay has gone on the overlap. He gets all the way to the byline, holds it up and then rolls it back towards Zorba Thomas, who gets, oh, I thought he was getting it just ahead of Mukasa. He actually wins it back. Is Zorba Thomas at the edge of the area. Loose ball there, which may still drop to Cisse before it's cleared. But Stoke are really up for this one. You can just see that they're really pushing, and it seems to have rattled Leicester a little bit. Yeah, it has indeed. This is not the start that Leicester City really wanted coming into this game. It's definitely not the start that Gary Rowett wanted coming into this game. He would have maybe liked to see his side take that early lead, settle the nerves a little bit. But for me here, Stoke's pressure is absolutely fantastic. It certainly is. There's a player down here for Leicester City. Our referee Gavin Ward just standing over Patson Daka. I mean, he's not had a touch of the ball yet, but he's somehow managed to already be down in the heap on the floor. There's also an early goal at the Hawthorns, where West Bromwich Albion are a goal down to Coventry City. That will actually be good news for Leicester in a strange way, because West Brom are just ahead of the Foxes in the table. That's another big side though that are really threatened with the relegation right now. Seeing this ball whipped in again, showing us another replay of the goal, of course, with Patson Daka still down on the ground. I mean, the ball in from Cresswell is a really good one, but really Leicester could have done a lot more to try and stop that ball getting towards the goal. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, they just needed that Oliver skip maybe to close them down a little bit quicker. Well, here comes Stoke again, though. They've restarted play quickly here after Patson Daka's injury. We're coming back to live picture. There was a ball whipped in here from Ben Pearson, which is just about dealt with. It's back on the halfway line, but it is Stoke City in possession here now with Aaron Cresswell. Thanks for the diagonal ball. It is a diagonal ball out towards the right-hand side. Will be just about kept in play here by Zorba Thomas. He runs into Mavididi. I think he might have either used his hand. In fact, he's just gone out for a throw here. Couldn't quite keep it in play. Victor Christensen is across to take this throw on. So looking at the form of Leicester City going into this game, of course they are under a new manager now. But some of the last results, I mean, that game against Southampton, of course, just literally springs off the page. To be 3-0 up with 11 minutes to go in that game and somehow lose it 4-3. Yeah, indeed. You know, maybe yet again they shut off a little bit, thought 3-0 was enough and didn't try and attack Southampton. And Southampton, you know, you can never put them out of a game. They are going to try and attack and attack and attack, and that's what they did against Leicester. And like I said, I maybe see that a little bit too often with maybe a few Championship sides, that they start to lead and then they sort of drop off a little bit, and it gives other Championship sides then plenty of time to try and get back into the game. No, it does. It certainly does. And quick throw. I'll just come back to that in a second. There's a throw coming in from the right-hand side, across with here from Zorba Thomas. And it's the goal scorer again, Ben Wilmot. He was jumping across on this occasion. He couldn't keep it on target. It's just over the bar. I mean, yeah, I mean, looking at what you mentioned there about sides, I mean, I think it's an issue across the leagues. It's just that psychological thing of we're in front, so we've got to sit back. And then when you concede a goal, all of a sudden the mindset, because you've been sat back, there's no way to respond then. And it's like there's the panic. And I mean, in the example of that game between Leicester and Southampton, I mean, they, as I say, they're a very fragile side at the moment, Leicester. Their last win in the league came on the 5th of January, and that was at home to West Brom. But they're on the attack now. That's a good little touch over towards the left-hand side in out for Mukasa. Overlap from Christensen. Cross coming in. It gets a flick on off Pearson. And it's out for a throw to Leicester on the right-hand side. Yeah, really nicely dealt with there by Stoke. It was a nice ball in from Christensen. Didn't have many players to aim at inside of that box there, but it was dealt with by Stoke in the end anyway. I think it was Ben Wilmot and Ben Pearson there coming together and trying to get that ball out. But nice little play from Leicester there, but just needed more people inside the box. Well, it did, and now Stoke are trying to play out from the back, and they get the ball away here down the left-hand side. Bocat is going through the gears here over the halfway line. He's got runners ahead of him, but he's carrying on all the way. That's going to be a booking, surely. No, the referee says that Ricardo Pereira won the ball, and that's certainly not a decision that the home fans will approve of. And then seconds later, there's quite a strong challenge there from Seiko. And that will be a free kick here to Leicester City. But Stoke are furious. They felt as though there was a foul there on Eric Bocat. Yeah, I thought it was as well. I'd like to see a replay of it. Ricardo Pereira just came sliding into the back of him, and I've seen those being given unless he managed to kind of hook his foot round the ball and get it away from Bocat. But we'll have another look at it. As he's coming over the halfway line here, Pereira sliding in. Well, I mean, he does actually nudge the ball. We've got to give Ricardo Pereira that. But then that in itself isn't always an excuse in this day and age. You know, if you're taking the man, then that's probably going to be a free kick anyway. So I still think that Stoke are quite unlucky there.
Yeah, I do indeed. I think he takes more of the player than he does the ball. Maybe it's because he's knocked the ball away from Boca, so he doesn't think that he's going to get it, and therefore it gives it back to Leicester in possession. But I think he took more of the man out there.
He did, yeah. Now Simkin with a bit of a slice clearance. He'll be glad that his teammates are rushing back quickly here, because it was actually quite an easy ball to do it, but he just shanks that out for a throw, quite close to the Stoke City penalty area. It's been taken quickly by Leicester, but they roll the ball back now into midfield as we see Mark Robbins, the Stoke City manager. That's his side. If they can hold on to the lead and then build on that lead in this game, just give them a real chance to get closer to that playoff mix. It's so interchangeable in the Championship with unpredictable results. Week in, week out, there's always going to be a surprise pretty much in every round of fixtures. Plenty more games to come at 3 o'clock as well, as here comes Mavididi trying to get the ball into Christensen. He's asking a bit too much of him there, really. Easy challenge there and out for a throw. Yeah,
easy one for Phillips to try and get onto the end of that. It needed a little bit more power to the pass to Christensen, and unfortunately this time it had not really anything on it. Phillips did well to deal with it, but it does give Leicester another opportunity for a throw-in.
It does, yeah. At least having a little bit of midfield possession, a little bit attacking possession here inside the Stoke City half. It's back on the halfway line here with Colley playing one into Monga. He's going to chase that one. Stoke were waiting for an offside. Don't need the offside. I mean, the ball's gone out for a throw on anyway, but I think Cresswell still having a bit of a go at the linesman there. Now restart play here on the left-hand side. 11.5 minutes on the clock. It is 1-0 to the home side after a header from Ben Pearson inside the first 2.5 minutes. In fact, it was Wilmot, I beg your pardon. It was Ben Wilmot with the header, wasn't it? But it was a perfect start for Stoke. They've just backed off a little bit now, have the home team, as Leicester start to see a bit more of the ball. Still nothing really doing in terms of any kind of attack, as Skip plays the ball forward. Immediately though, Ben Pearson is in the way of that, and he rolls it all the way back towards Tommy Simkin. Here is Ben Wilmot looking up, thinking about a long clearance, but Leicester are trying to play quite a high line here just to stop any kind of long balls from Stoke. To Wilmot again. Now it's with Bocat. Being closed down, able to keep possession. And from Leicester's point of view, the fact that they're going to be a fragile team because they have been in such poor form. Gary Rowett, I think he's been brought in because obviously he has a lot of experience at this level. He comes across as quite a sort of positive, proactive manager as well, which is really what Leicester need at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. He's somebody that can kind of get your team going. You know, he's been around the Championship for long enough to be in these sort of positions, and he said in an interview recently that he has been in these positions and he can get teams out of these positions. So, you know, he's got the experience and he's got the passion to try and get Leicester out of this relegation zone. For me, now it's down to the players, though.
It is, and I think from Rowett's point of view, he would think that if he can keep Leicester City up, I mean, overall it is still a big club. They have still got ambition, and if they can ride out this points deduction and everything off the field this season, then they'll be looking to have a positive start on next season. So he's certainly sort of thinking ahead in that sense, but of course it's a long way away, as closing down there was Patson Daka all the way to goalkeeper Simkin. He nearly got caught out, but he just about made his clearance. It falls back in midfield here for Leicester City, as Skip was, well, I thought he was fouled there, bundled into, but the referee sees nothing wrong with that. It's now with Ben Nelson here for Leicester, going back towards Begovic. Now Colley, oh, that's poor control there. It's an easy ball, really, just out for a throw to Stoke in an attacking position.
Yeah, indeed, he's got to do better than that. He's got plenty of Stoke players around him. He's just got to get it cleared, and he tried to take the touch and try and be a bit too fancy with it. I would have just liked to see him head down the line with that one.
Yeah, it's got to, sometimes it's this. I suppose managers across the leagues are guilty of this as well, for sort of instilling in their players that they always have to play out from the back. Whereas previously a long ball there would have been the most obvious choice. Sometimes players just hesitate too much, and now they've given away a throw in a decent position here, as Bocat was setting himself for a long throw. He prefers to just play it short to Cresswell. Bocat then gets it back. They're trying to work enough space here for Cresswell to get the ball in, and here comes the cross from Cresswell. It's over towards the back post, over the head of Wilmot this time. This does give Leicester a chance to clear their lines, but they're dawdling with it here at the edge of the area. Phillips almost wins it back. Finally, it's played out towards Mavididi, who keeps it in play. And then it's Winks now playing it back towards Christensen. Ball from Victor Christensen to the halfway line. It's a good header though, and eventually that's just nodded back here by Cresswell. all the way back towards the goalkeeper. So a little moment there for Leicester where they started to see the ball, but now Stoke are trying to respond with their own possession.
Yeah, indeed. They sat back for a little bit, maybe a bit tired after putting on the pressure. The Leicester so had to take a little breather, let Leicester have a little pass around of the ball and just try and defend it, make sure that they don't get an equaliser. And yet again, I think Leicester there were a little bit too slow to trying to come out towards the cross, and didn't get enough players as well around the Stoke players to try and block it off.
Well, no, I think from absolutely right. I think from Leicester's points of view, they don't want to sort of sit back and allow Stoke to sort of get back into their group, which is why I'm impressed to see some pressing here from Leicester. They've won the ball back high up the field, and it's with Mavididi. Then does a couple of step overs before trying to go for goal. I mean, there was a wall of Stoke players in front of him. Really, he should have thought about the pass there.
Yeah, maybe he thought that the Stoke players were going to block off the goalkeeper, but he had plenty of players to his right hand side that he could have laid off to Patson Daka, Jeremy Monga. Instead, he took maybe the wrong decision there. Wall of Stoke players. If it works out, the goalkeeper may have not been able to see the ball until a little bit later, but not always does it work out.
No, it doesn't. I think in those situations, players have just got to really make their minds up even quicker, because there's always going to be a player close down. You never get much time, do you? As a long ball now down the left there is going to be chased all the way, but it's just a bit too long in the end for Cisse. And out for a goal kick to Leicester. A couple of goals elsewhere in the across the Football League. In League One, it is goalless between Plymouth and Cardiff, but it is 1-0 to Rotherham against Doncaster. Wickham have just taken the lead against Stevenage. And in League Two, it is Fleetwood 0, Barrow 1. That's one of the rare away games for Barrow that isn't actually too far for them to travel compared to most places they have to go. And it's goalless here between Swindon and Crewe as well in the other League Two game. Plenty more action to come on our service later today. At 3 o'clock, 5:30 and 8 p.m. as well. So the Premier League gets up underway at 3 o'clock, but it is Stoke City now in possession down the left-hand side here. Bocat laying the ball forward. That to me looked like it could have been a foul. That's two that Ricardo Pereira's got away with, and that's a strong one there on Cisse. I mean, last time we thought it was a foul from Ricardo, and then he did actually end up from the replay. It looked like he won the ball, but on this occasion, doesn't look like the referee's bothered about this one either.
No, it doesn't. Well, the physios thought they might have to come on for this one. We'll see it again. Yeah, he just kind of comes in onto the ball. I think he knows that he's maybe going to lose it out to Cisse, so he's put in a challenge. He has maybe won the ball there from the angle of our cameras, but for me, that possibly should have been a foul on Cisse, who did take a quite hard whack into the back as well.
He did. I didn't really see how Ricardo Pereira could have won the ball there, and I'm not really sure how the referee didn't see a foul, but we'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on Mr. Ward, our official this afternoon. Long ball now played through the middle here with Jeremy Monga was the intended target, but a combination of Bocat and Cresswell win the ball back now for Stoke, and it's Cresswell over towards Lamine Cisse, left-hand edge of the penalty area. He thought about going for goal, then he just plays it square to the edge of the area here for Ben Pearson. Out to Sorba Thomas on the right-hand side. Phillips is up in support for this one as well, but no options here for Stoke to get into the penalty area directly, so they're having to go back towards the halfway line again. It's with Wilmot now, switching play over towards the left-hand side. It's a good ball to pick out Cresswell. So he just slows down his runners with Tatsuki Seiko now. Seiko back towards the halfway line. Sorba Thomas runs straight into Christensen though, but the second ball is dropping to Stoke every time here. Wilmot now over towards the left-hand side. About a long ball. Leicester, to their credit, they are playing quite a high line, so they don't want to make it too easy here for Stoke to just go direct, which is what we know they would like to do. Yeah,
indeed. They're trying to block out the midfield. They're trying to make them so they're spreading the pitch out a little bit wider, which then helps Leicester because they have very fast players with Monga and Mavididi who can just head down the wings then. And as well, Stoke's Eric Bocat and Aaron Cresswell, they're pushing up quite high, so it leaves gaps in behind for Monga and Mavididi to try and run into. But Stoke, when they're getting the ball and doing their defensive duties as well, they're just trying to close down, put a wall of red and white in front of Leicester players so they can't make that shot. And Stoke are just doing really well actually.
And they are. I mean, for the time being, Simkin's not had any work to do really, the goalkeeper, other than trying to just quickly get rid of a ball when he's been closed down by Daka, but that really is it. There's certainly not been any cross or any shot for the Stoke City goalkeeper to worry about. We are heading into the 19th minute now, so sooner rather than later, Leicester can get into some sort of attack mode in this game. Certainly serve them well. They've got a pretty strong bench as well, have Leicester today, in terms of they've got Saluko, Aribo, got Page as well as Thomas. They've got some experience on that bench, so there are some options there if they need to use them. I'm missing a few players with injury as well, of course. Lascelles, Ramsey, Sutar, Vestergaard, Chowdhury, all these players would be starting. So it is a bit of an injury crisis there for Gary Rowett to sort of navigate as soon as he arrives here at the King Power. Right now. Get them as far up the field as he can. Just a short throw here for the time being, and it's back with Nelson. He closed down in Nelson. He puts that ball right into his own 6-yard box. Begovic had to do a little bit more than just walk after that ball. He actually had to do a bit of a quick jog just to make sure it wasn't going to go over the line. But after he clears that ball, Stoke comes straight back on the attack here now with Bay. Oh, he breaks into the box. Great work here from Bay. And the pass across the 6-yard box in the end, just a bit too close to Begovic.
Yeah, indeed, but it's good work from Begovic there. Saw the run in behind him, but yet again, Leicester are just losing out in possession in midfield. They're trying to get something going in the court because of just wasteful passes in the end. Yeah,
that was. I mean, again, they had enough time in possession to actually do something with that, but in the end, it's not really clicking for them at all in midfield right now for Leicester. Christensen there may have been fouled. Referees are letting a few things go this afternoon, and now Sorba Thomas pushing forward here for Stoke City, but that's a good challenge there from Ben Nelson. Out for a throw to Stoke now on the right-hand side. Both options here. Sorba Thomas just looking up. We know he can launch this long. It's one of his trademarks. Whether or not we're going to see just a short throw here or not, he certainly seems to be preparing like he wants to launch this long. Camera just focusing on Milan Smith, Stoke City front man. Not too many opportunities to shine so far in this game. Sorba Thomas with as long a run up as he can get, leaning right up against the advertising boards, launches this ball into the 6-yard box. Good header away by Okoli. Second ball kept alive, and then the striker always takes a big deflection as well, and that needs a good save from Asmir Begovic. I mean, the initial strike, I think, may have been heading on target, but it's probably going a little bit more down the middle. Once it takes that deflection, it's Aaron Cresswell. We know once he puts his laces through a shot, it can be a very dangerous one, and credit to Begovic. Yeah, well, it was dealt with by Leicester trying to head that ball out. Mukasa couldn't quite get onto it in the end. Young Hobe beat him towards it. Ball came back out to Aaron Cresswell just on the edge of the D, and he thought he'd just hit one from there, saw the gap opening, and he got the deflection off of Ricardo Pereira, who just stuck a leg out at it there, and he was very lucky that Asmir Begovic was somewhat diving down to his right-hand side anyway to save that shot. Absolutely. We'll just see out this corner before I hand over to Joe for the remainder of this first half, but referee Gavin Ward is just doing a little bit of housekeeping inside the penalty area. Just asking for the players to stop pushing and shoving, which they will do. They'll stop for about all of 2 or 3 seconds before going back to doing exactly the same thing again. But Sorba Thomas is ready now to whip this ball in. It's another low one towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It almost reaches its intended target there of Smith. It's now Cresswell at the edge of the area. Back to Sorba Thomas. It's about whipping in, and he does. The cross gets a deflection as well, which actually straightens the ball out. Begovic makes a save. For 24 minutes now, it is Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0, and here is Joe to take us through to half-time. Well, he's thrown that one out quickly onto this left-hand side, looking for Mavididi inside of his own half, though he's had to turn back towards Harry Winks. He gets the ball back off of him now. Nice little charge here for Leicester. Not many players coming up though with Mavididi, but he's managed to find the pass through to Patson Daka, who's offside there. He was looking down the line. It's got to be a little bit better there from Patson Daka because he had the opportunity there yet again. It's wasteful from Leicester, but I'd like to say that Stoke got back really, really quickly to try and defend that one. But like I said, Patson Daka looking down the line's got to do a little bit better. Well, maybe the linesman's got to do a bit better there, Joe. I mean, that is very, very tight. I don't want to say that sort of completely sort of decisively, because we see sometimes doing Premier League games with VAR where the naked eye it looks like everyone's okay, then you see the replay, someone's just offside, or vice versa. But looking at that, it looked like it was very tight. I mean, Daka's got to watch it, of course, because they've had so little attacking possession that he doesn't want to waste it with an offside. But I think both of us are prepared to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But here comes Stoke. Yeah, this time it's offside though. Milan Schmidt was caught in the offside trap of this Leicester defence, so
Nice little ball through there from Sorba Thomas, trying to get his striker maybe in the game. He's not maybe had enough touches in this first half, Milan Schmidt, but that was an opportunity there. But yet again, another striker caught offside, so it will be a free kick for Leicester inside their own half. Yeah, miles off there, and had he tried to pass it into Cisse as well, he would have been offside.
Yeah, Cisse was offside when that first ball was played as well, so yeah, no issues with that one. The linesman certainly got it correct on this side. Mark Robbins there with his assistant looking fairly calm for now. I think they'll be happy with what Stoke are doing, particularly because there's not much of an attacking threat for Leicester at the moment.
Yeah, I still think they need another goal coming into this half-time. They'll really do Stoke, and here they come down this right-hand side with Sorba Thomas. He's turned away from Mavididi, but tries to play it through there, and it's just straight into the path of Christiansen. So Stoke have had to play it back, however, though, towards their defenders to try and kickstart something. Long ball over the top is looking for Young Ho Bae, but the flag is up anyway, and he has been caught also in the offside trap there. Linesman getting that one correct, but yet again Leicester playing it out very, very quickly, trying to get their team in the mood, trying to get them kick-starting here, but they just keep on running into the path of the Stoke players. And
yeah, it's a problem, isn't it? Because you've got to playing with pace and playing with a bit of decisiveness is what Leicester need, but it's got to be done with thought. If they're just charging over the halfway line and then running into a wall of Stoke players, as you say, they're going to lose the ball and potentially leave spaces at the back for a counter-attack. So if they're seeing that, they've got to try and find another way here as they're pushing on down the right-hand side here with Pereira. But as you say, anytime they get the ball in midfield or in attack, there's just Leicester players all around them. But there's some space in now though for Skip, who overhits that pass, I think.
Yeah, he doesn't even pass. Knuckles still chasing down. Can he keep it in? No, he can't. It was being chased down there by Ben Wilmot. And yet again, another overhit ball into the path of Patson Daka. Just to let you know, Hull, QPR, sorry, have gone 1-0 up against Hull, and Swansea have gone 1-0 up against Bristol City in their games as well. Here it is still Stoke 1, Leicester City 0. There's about 15 minutes or so left to be played of this first half, plus of course additional time. Plymouth have taken the lead against top of the league Cardiff in that League One clash. Then of course Plymouth heading towards the playoffs if they can get a win against Cardiff as well today. Long ball forward by Stoke has been dealt with by Leicester, put out for a throw in on that left hand side then for Cresswell to take it. He's looking for movement of these Stoke players, does find it, does get the ball back from Ben Pearson, but has to go back towards his goalkeeper. Vipotnik got the goal for Swansea in that game then to open in the scoring against Bristol City. One ball forward by Stoke has been caught out by Oliver Skip, but tries to aim it forward yet again, and there's nobody there, only Patson Daka to try and pass it to as the ball heads down this left hand side for Stoke. Then it's with Cisse, he passes it into Bokar, but it's overhit there and well defended in the end by Ricardo Pereira, coming towards his defensive duties. This time he times that one well, doesn't catch the player, catches the ball, but Stoke still have chance here to put the pressure on this Leicester side, get the ball moving around here, but yet again they're forced to try and kick-start things and go back towards their defenders. On the right hand side for Sorba Thomas, tries to play it inside there to Ben Pearson. That one's a foul though by Oliver Skip, and well, there was no real need to try and put that challenge in there. He would have possibly just turned into Skip anyway, and it's, you know, put Leicester in a dangerous position.
It has, yeah. I mean, it's still quite a long way from goal, but certainly close enough to try and get a decent ball in. The fact that it's a little bit more central maybe just makes that a little bit easier for Leicester to defend it. But I mean, the possession stats aren't actually. I just had a quick look at them. I thought they might have been more in Stoke's favour, but they're not. It's only 57 to 43% in favour of the home side. So they are actually seeing a fair amount of the ball, Leicester, but just goes to show they're really not doing anything with it. Yeah,
indeed. Maybe they've got to try and maybe help out Patson Daka, try and get a few more players up the field, because for me they're not really doing that, this Leicester side. But however, they've got a free kick to try and defend here. It will be Sorba Thomas to take it. He delivers it in towards the back stick. Phillips gets his head up. It's rattled off the crossbar. It's come back out to Seko, who has missed the opportunity. He's put it just wide of the post. But two brilliant chances for Stoke to try and get ahead in this game and try and get a second against Leicester. But the crossbar and the woodwork is probably still rattling from that header.
Oh, Begovic is beaten. That's a really powerful header from Phillips. He times his run to perfection here, and almost times his header to perfection as well. It's just unfortunate that it does crash off the bar, and then a rushed Seiko couldn't quite get the rebound on target.
I think Seiko's got to do a little bit better there for me. He's got to at least try and get that one on target. However, have lost that possession with Young Ho Bay. Passes it onto this left-hand side for Smith. He tries the shot on the turn. Okola is in there and blocks out the ball. Asmir Begovic probably had that one covered though, but Okola had to come towards that defensive duties. But yet again, mistake at the back from Leicester.
Yeah, it's just giving it away far too easily. Nelson, I mean, he's not even under any real pressure. He just sort of runs into Bay, who's just in front of him, and it's not like he's appeared from nowhere. And that strike was well dealt with, but it's another corner kick here for Stoke, and it all comes from Leicester giving the ball away.
It does indeed. Can they make anything of this one? They've been quite deadly with their set pieces, have Stoke, and their crosses inside of the box. So this will be one that they can try and hope to put the goalkeeper under a little bit of pressure. It will be Sorba Thomas to take it. He's putting the ball down. Having a little chat there with the fan of Leicester, as he will take this corner kick then. One arm raised, has Cresswell on the edge of the box. Cresswell's walked away now, doesn't look like he'll use him, puts it in towards that near post, so way by Leicester, comes back out towards Cresswell, onto Sorba Thomas. Thomas puts it back in, well, tries to put it back inside, sorry, and Oliver Skip this time quickly dealt with that one. Yeah,
this time it is blocked off, and there's a second ball on the field as well, so it just slows down Stoke's intentions of taking this throw quickly. But I suppose from the important thing from their point of view is just not allow Leicester to get into any kind of attacking possession.
Yeah, just let you know, Plymouth have gone 2-0 up in their game against Cardiff. Coventry have taken the lead against West Brom. Well, I've got a 2-0 lead, sorry, against West Brom as well in that game. As Stoke try and come down this Leicester left-hand side, but it's blocked out there by yet again Ricardo Pereira. But it's given Stoke another throw-in. It will be taken by Bokar. Probably expect a long throw-in inside of the box, but there's plenty of players on the edge instead. It's played in towards Cresswell, back to Bokar. He'll try and ping one inside the box. It's dealt with. Back out to Seiko, tries the shot, but it's over the bar. Begovic didn't even have to jump to that one. No real pressure coming for the goalkeeper. But how many players were Stoke on the edge of the box there, and they weren't really picked up by this Leicester defence?
No, they weren't, and Seiko will be frustrated after that, missing that chance a few moments earlier, so he's desperate to try and do anything now from his perspective. But we've seen it in this game. There were
on another day, maybe it goes off the post and he manages to get the rebound in. On this day, it hadn't though. Christiansen, I think, will be coming off the field. It is not looking good.
No, it's not. I mean, he's got a real sort of pained expression on his face. I mean, that's going to be a worry in itself, because Leicester are missing quite a few starting defenders. But the good news, at least in terms of his replacement, is that Luke Thomas is a very experienced player. And actually, for large parts of this season, he's been getting into the team ahead of Victor Christiansen. But yeah, no point in Christiansen watching the rest of this half from the bench. He's just going straight down the tunnel to get some early treatment before the rest of his teammates join in about, well, I'd imagine about 8 or 9 minutes actually, because we're at 39 minutes now. But I expect there to be about 3 or 4 minutes of added time.
Yeah, indeed. And probably not the substitution that Leicester wanted to make this early on in the game, especially before the second half. Maybe thought if he could have ride it out a little bit longer, but it's not looking good.
Well, no, I mean, he had his arm around one of the physios, and he was still hobbling, so there's no way he could stay on the field and carry on running. So once they realised it was that, hard to know exactly where he got that injury as well. I think it might have just been a muscle strain that's been waiting to sort of pounce on him. But Leicester City now in possession. A huge ball out from McCauley, just about kept in play by Mavididi.
Yes, with Thomas, tries to play it through to Mukasa, does work out, gets it through away from Ben Pearson, but there's Ben Wilmot in the end to make sure that Mukasa doesn't go through on goal. But Leicester have won back possession of the ball, tried to play it long to Mongu, maybe doesn't have the strength to try and battle off Bokar there and loses possession of the ball. Long ball downfield, he's looking for Smith, who, like we said, hasn't really got into this game.
He hasn't. I mean, it's also fair that he hasn't had that much service. I mean, he's had a couple of balls played through to him, but it's not like Stoke have been finding him time and again. And actually, for all the praise we've put on Stoke in this half, he has been a while since, barring that one chance for Seiko, they haven't really been creating that many other chances. It has gone a little bit sort of flat this game, but obviously Stoke still seeing more of the ball and Leicester still struggling to get forward.
Indeed, as ball forward for Stoke. He was looking for Young Hobey. He wanted the foul after being challenged there by Nelson. Wasn't going to get it, and Leicester have possession of the ball with Thomas. I think they'd like to try and find an equaliser before half time here. Ball through isn't the best one, but it comes off of Ben Pearson and goes behind for a corner kick there. Not the one that Pearson was maybe expecting towards his feet. Nearly put it in the back of his own net there. Simkin was coming towards the 6-yard box, maybe wanting to deal with that ball inside to Patson Daka and close down the angle. But for me there, lovely little play from Leicester, and he's set up a nice little corner.
The thing is, Leicester have had a tough season, but there is still some real quality in this team. You think of players like Skip and Winks, they have got Premier League pedigree, and then you think of players like Daka, he's scored goals at the top level, but here comes the corner kick from Winks.
Yeah, towards that far post, it's not dealt with by the goalkeeper. He was lucky that Phillips was in behind him there to try and get that ball off of the line.
From the camera angle that we have, I thought that was actually going in for a second.
I thought the exact same. Simkin, he went over his hand there, and Phillips, well, just manages to head that ball away. Dangerous one in behind there from the corner kick by Leicester, but it was dealt.
an impossible angle for Bristol City. They've created very little otherwise.
Lead, Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side. First half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Half-time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. The Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get back into the game. Towards the end of the first half, they've had a couple of chances. There was also a great chance after Phillips hit the bar, then Seiko missed the rebound. It's 1-0. Time at the Bet365 Stadium with a home side lead. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. The goal coming inside the first 2.5 minutes. After the initial corner kick from Zorba Thomas was cleared, the ball goes back to Zorba Thomas. He lays it off for the left foot of Aaron Cresswell. It's a really good whip ball in, and then a powerful header from close range from Ben Wilmot. Leicester defence not doing too much to try and stop that. Leicester took a long time to get... Well, we're back for second half independent off tube studio commentary from the game at the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke City 1, Leicester City 0. And certainly for a large part of the first half, that scoreline was deserved because Stoke were the better side. Leicester started to respond a little bit in the last 10-15 minutes. A couple of saves finally being forced out of Tommy Simkin, the Stoke City keeper. Stoke maybe just guilty of sitting back a little bit towards the end of the first half as well, so we'll see how it pans out, because straight away it is Leicester on the attack with Jeremy Monga down the right hand side. We didn't see enough of this in the first half. He rolls the ball in towards Daka. Daka being marshalled there by Phillips. He leaves it back for Jeremy Monga at the edge of the area, just running into a bit of traffic there, going back towards midfield, and now it's with Winks out towards Pereira here on the right hand side, back towards Monga. It's exactly the kind of start that Leicester needed here in the second half. Monga being pushed away here by Wilmot, maybe even foul, but the referee allows play, and here is Winks' ball into the box. It's a low ball into the penalty area, easily cleared, and Bay now trying to get the ball away for Leicester City, but Monga wins it back. And now finally it's with Schmitz, who drops a bit deeper, and it's a chance here for the counter, and it's with Zorba Thomas now down the right hand side. He gets towards the edge of the area. Great challenge there though from Ollie Skip out for a throw to Stoke City. It's myself, Paul Shabakovic, and Joe Pearson taking the reaction. Joe, that's a nice little hopefully a nice little snapshot of how the rest of the second half's going to go. Yeah,
indeed, nice little play from Leicester, especially with Monga down that right hand side. I think he just needed to get his head up. He had that player Mavididi running on the left hand side, but it's always one of them. He's in plenty of space, but he has to get it through these Stoke defenders that were coming back as well. And sometimes it doesn't work out. If it does, it's really good. And Zorba Thomas, well, he didn't really have anybody to really pass it to. He had Cisse running onto the left, but I don't think he was going to try and get to the ball in time.
No, it needed that little bit of quicker thinking there potentially once he got to the edge of the area. Now a free kick's been given here against Ashley Phillips. It was a long throw from Zorba Thomas, but there was a push inside the penalty area that our referee Gavin Ward gave in favour of Leicester City. Just to remind you, for Stoke it is Simkin in goal, back four of Cresswell, Phillips, Wilmot and Bocat. Then it's Seiko and Pearson as the holding midfielders, with Cisse, Bay and Thomas as the attacking midfield three. The front man is Smith for Leicester City. It is Begovic in goal, back four of Ricardo Pereira, Colley, Nelson and Luke Thomas, who came on for the injured Victor Christensen. Then two in midfield, Skip and Winks. The three ahead of them are Monga, Mukasa and Mavididi, with Patson Daka as the front man. And it's now with Leicester City here in midfield. Over towards the right hand side for Ricardo Pereira into the Stoke City half. Plays a ball towards Patson Daka, a little back heel there. It was a nice idea, but it was always just a little bit too far away from Mukasa in the end. Yeah,
really nice idea. Good little start from Leicester here. Yet again, it comes from Monga down this right hand side. Played a nice ball through to Patson Daka. I don't think he quite maybe looked over his shoulder to see where Mukasa was. I think he saw the run, so he thought he was going to be right behind him. So he tried to play that little ball through. I didn't think he noticed that the defender was in his pathway as well. As Wilmot has just taken to his knees here.
He has, yeah. It was given as a free kick to Stoke anyway, just for a push around about the halfway line. Now the Stoke City camps in, just needing a moment to pick himself up. It looks like he's okay to play on. Ben Pearson stands over this free kick. Leicester are quite high with their offsides. There won't be any long ball here from Pearson. He's just played back to Wilmot. He then goes square to Cresswell. Out to Bocat here on the left-hand side. Into Aaron Cresswell. Bocat carries on his run. He gets to the edge of the area. Tries an early ball in for the overlap there. But in the end, the ball won't get through to Cisse. It was well cut out by Ricardo Pereira. To be taken here on the left by Bocat. Bay has dropped in a little bit closer. That's where the ball has gone. It's back with Bocat. Bay just at the edge of the area trying to find Cisse, but Mukasa gets in the way of that. He then goes out towards Mavididi, and this is a chance here now for Leicester City. That's going to be a free kick though, and a yellow card for Pearson as well. Just stopping the run of Mavididi with no real intent to play the ball. Yeah, indeed, a little bit of a silly one from Ben Pearson. He's had a few of them really within the first half, so I think the referee's just kind of totted them up here. But Mavididi racing away down this left-hand side, and yeah, I mean, he's never going to really get the ball. Mavididi could have possibly played it through to the man who was running onto that left-hand side as well, which I believe to be Mukasa, who was just running directly through the middle. It would possibly been a little bit of a better option for Mavididi, but he decided to still chase down that left-hand side, and in the end it's resulted in Ben Pearson getting a yellow card. Yeah, Pearson deserves that yellow card, and we actually saw the reaction of the manager there, Mark Robbins. I don't think he was angry at the referee. I think he was just frustrated that his side had given away the free kick and the yellow card. As the ball comes in, it was a deep cross from Luke Thomas, and Ben Nelson was the intended target. I'm not even sure if he actually made contact with the ball. He might have just gently glanced it, but it never goes near the goal in the end. Yeah, it doesn't. Needed maybe a Leicester player towards that far post to try and get onto the end of it. But it's a lovely ball inside of the box, and it drops nicely for Ben Nelson, who just kind of turns away from the goal actually when he's trying to header that one instead of towards it. I think he tries to flash it back across the goalkeeper's post and hope that there were some Leicester players in that 6-yard box to try and get a touch on it. But in the end, a bit of a wasted free kick. In the end, nothing comes from it, but it's that sort of thing that Leicester need more of. They need more attacking possession, balls into the box. Test this Stoke City defence on a couple of occasions in the first half. We saw that Simkin doesn't like crosses right into the 6-yard box, but now Ollie Skip brings the ball away here for Leicester City. Decent run from him, and he finds Mavididi, left-hand edge of the penalty area. Mavididi drops his shoulder, takes another touch, plays it square for Mukasa, wants to go for goal. His shot has been charged down. Monga should keep it in play though, down the right-hand side for Leicester. Gets all the way to the byline, rolls this one back for Mukasa. And he goes for goal! Yes, it is into the back of the net. It's that cross-come shot, and look at the Leicester players. They're not even celebrating this one. They're just straight back to the halfway line. They know that a draw today doesn't really help. They need to try and get back to winning ways as quickly as possible. And actually, from Stoke's point of view, that was all far too easy for Leicester. Yeah, indeed it was. And Monga there did the right thing to pass it back towards Mukasa. He found his pathway block. You could see he wanted the cross back inside of that box. But yet again, it comes from Mukasa's shot. Plays out to Monga. You can see him look around maybe for that to try and whip a ball inside the box.
realises it's not on, passes it back to Mukasa, and I think there the goalkeeper Simkin, he looks like he's going to go out for it. He looks like he's coming out to try and deal with it. So he's ending up on basically his heels as he's trying to pedal back towards the goal, and he gets put off there by Oliver Skip as well, who well kind of ducks underneath it instead, and in the end it just goes straight into that far post corner. It's got to be better goalkeeping though.
Well, goalkeepers are trained to obviously try and predict, trying to foresee what's going to happen where the ball's coming in. They always try and get themselves into the right position. And I just think from Simkin there, it's as you say, I think he's still in his mind thinking that someone's going to get a touch. So he's coming out, but there's going to be a header. Oh no, there isn't. And before he realised it, it's too late and the ball's in the net. But now Stoke have responded immediately with an attack of their own. And as it gets to Cisse, left-hand edge of the penalty area, holding it up and going back towards Seiko. Seiko's cross towards the back post. Oh, and it's wide. I actually think some Stoke players, including ourselves in the commentary box, we actually thought that might be going into the net there from Smith, but he's somehow managed to hit. It's not even the side netting; he's actually missed altogether. Yeah,
nice little play there from Stoke. Leicester a little bit caught out on the back foot there from Cisse. Nice little move around the back. It's a lovely ball in from Seko, and Smith there. Well, he's got to be getting that one on target. He's actually missed the post as well, and that's poor from a striker.
It is. I mean, from that sort of position, he's got to try and test the goalkeeper. That's a warning to Leicester as well. They'll probably, as I say, they didn't really celebrate their goal too much, but maybe internally they were still quite pleased with themselves, still very happy to be back in the game. But before you know it, a minute later, they were almost picking the ball out of the net again. They've got to be that little bit more careful there. But the ball back with goalkeeper Tommy Simkin now here for Stoke City. Once this one over the halfway line. Over the head of Bays, over the head of Smith as well. It's with Pearson now. That was Leicester only cleared that ball a few yards ahead of themselves. It's now with Zorba Thomas down the right-hand side. His ball is charged down here by Luke Thomas, out for a throw to Stoke City. There's no change in any of the other scores. Yes, it's 1-1 between Hull and QPR. It's 1-1 here in our game. Swansea still leading against Bristol City by a goal to nil. And West Brom are still 2 down at home to Coventry, as we're going to see a change here for Stoke City very early on in the second half. It may well be that Ben Pearson, whether it's a case of fitness, whether it's a case of Mark Robbins not wanting him to play with that yellow card, but experienced here, and Stephen Nzonzi coming on to replace him.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just due to that yellow card that Ben Pearson has got. Maybe he's been overrun a little bit in that midfield, and they can't afford to lose him. Really, they don't want to get him a red card as he's been a little bit overrun, like I said, by Leicester. You know, maybe one more of those challenges would see him get into the book. So they've brought on maybe the like for like, which is Stephen Nzonzi. Yeah,
absolutely. As Stoke lose the ball now, they were expecting a free kick there. Cresswell was, and there's never a foul on him. But now there might have been a foul on Monga there from Cisse. Referee Gavin Ward looks, doesn't give anything. It's Stoke back in possession. A ball switched over towards the right as Zorba Thomas plays it back towards Ashley Phillips, and Nzonzi gets his first touch of the ball. Cresswell out wide towards Bocat here on the left-hand side. About going for it, but just decides to roll this one back towards Cresswell. So both of us had Stoke down as having a back four, but potentially it could actually be a back three here with Cresswell and Wilmot and Phillips, and then essentially Bocat sort of pushing forward down the left, and then you're seeing sort of Zorba Thomas doing the same thing on the right.
Yeah, indeed. Maybe they've gone towards that back three now and trying to get more players up the field. You can see that Leicester are trying to get more players up the field now. Definitely, they're playing quite a high line now with their attackers, with Mavididi, Pasandaka, and Monga. They seem to like being like somewhat of like a 4-3-3, if you know what I mean, with those three attackers up front, just trying to chase down the ball. But for me, you've got to get the ball out towards these players instead of channeling it through the middle.
No, you do, and I think that from Leicester's point of view, they've made a decent start in the second half. Now they're just potentially in danger of falling back into a sort of defensive mode here. They're trying to press further and further, as we can see Mukasa and Mavididi and Daka well into the Stoke half here, trying to get the ball back as Thomas pushes up on Zorba Thomas there. It's never ideal when you've got two players with the same surname going at each other there, but the ball now back in the middle here with Bay. Looking over towards the right-hand side here for Phillips. There is pressing from Mavididi, there's pressing from Mukasa, so Stoke certainly don't have it as easy in their own half as they did at times in the first. Long ball now from Cresswell, headed clear by Pereira. Second ball headed forward though. Chance here now for Stoke potentially to keep possession inside the Leicester half, but a loose ball is taken here by Harry Winks. He plays it forward before it's back into Stoke City possession here now with Cresswell. Here's Bay. Switching play out towards the right-hand side. It's a good ball as well to pick out Sorba Thomas. Trying to get away from Luke Thomas. He gets into the penalty area. It's charged down and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, nice covering there from Luke Thomas. He had a little bit of a stumble as Sorba Thomas did a few step overs to try and take the ball away from him. But he recovered himself really, really well. Managed to get the block in as well. But like I said, plenty of players in that Stoke area for Sorba Thomas to aim at. There
is, absolutely. And looking across, there's 4 or 5 options there inside the penalty. Another 2 or 3 players waiting at the edge. We know that Cresswell can have a really good left-footed whip ball in from a corner kick. It just depends on what kind of cross he's thinking about this time. Still a bit of pushing and shoving. Plenty of traffic there for Asmir Begovic to navigate around as well if he's going to try and come out for this cross. Just taking that little bit longer to finally get this ball in now. Here is Cresswell. Decent amount of height on it. It's headed on. I think it comes off a Leicester head. And yes, the referee agrees. It is out for another corner, but there are 2 Stoke City players down inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, Smith and Phillips, I believe they've been pushed into one another by the Leicester players. A crowd of players heading towards that 6-yard box. Smith has come off the worst out of it. Phillips isn't happy with something. Maybe not happy actually with his own man as he turns around to Smith there. But we'll have maybe another look at the replay of what happened. A bit of battling, a little bit of pushing and shoving within there. Well, actually, yeah, Phillips actually just gets taken out a little bit by the Leicester player there.
As he's sort of falling, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, we can see Phillips as he's jumping for this one. Colley's actually holding onto his shirt, sort of dragging him down, and then I think there's another player just crashing down on top of him. We've got a corner kick now from the left-hand side. In-swinging ball here from Sorba Thomas. It's cleared to the edge of the area. Cresswell goes for goal. Doesn't really get the right contact with it. The ball's then hooked up in the air before it bounces back towards the edge of the Leicester City penalty area. It's Luke Thomas now heading it away. Headed forward here by Phillips. Ball now back over on the left-hand side. And Mavididi was chasing this one before the ball is cleared by Thomas a long way down the left-hand side.
Yeah, indeed it was. I mean, it's nice play from Stoke, especially around the edge of the box to try and create stuff, especially from these corner kicks as well. I mean, maybe there Cresswell would have liked to have put it a little bit more close towards the goalkeeper. Maybe not trying to aim for those plays inside the box, but yeah. Bright start for Stoke, and they're starting to really come into this game.
Well, just as you say that, they've lost possession inside their own half, and it's Mavididi now heading towards the edge of the area, supported in by Mukasa. Mukasa just holds onto the ball here at the edge of the area, then he wants some support. Perhaps he's held onto it for a little bit too long. Been joined now by Ollie Skip just in front of the penalty area. Here is Winks now, pass in towards Jeremy Monga. Heavy touch there, though, cleared by Bocat, but not too far. Still half a chance here for Leicester down the right-hand side with Monga. Back in towards Winks. Skip now back to Winks, and it's with Colley here on the halfway line. Once again, just looking for options here, but Stoke are back in numbers. Still not easy here for Leicester City, but you can see that Stoke are just pressing that little bit higher now because they're a little bit more aware that Leicester can actually get a goal now.
Oh, indeed, yeah. But they're coming back in numbers when Leicester are attacking, so it makes it look like Leicester don't really have anybody inside of the box when they do. And the fourth mistake ball through here to Mukasa, yet again overhit, and it's one of them that they've got to try and get right because they had a few of them within the first half. That actually, if they got them right, Daka could have easily turned away from his defender and may have got this game, levelled in the first half. But some sloppy passes maybe in that final third or so for Leicester, and Stoke are maybe starting to realise that.
Yeah, it certainly appears that we can see Gary Rowett there and Andy King, one of his assistants there, just discussing how they could try and just maybe force the issue a little bit more. Certainly you can't fault in Stoke in terms of the numbers back in defence, but whether or not they just need to try and do something to maybe win the ball higher up the field, because with Leicester sending so many players further forward, that might just open things up a little bit for a counter-attack And there is certainly pace in this Stoke City 11 as well.
Oh, there definitely is, yeah. You've got Sorba, Thomas and Cisse, who just like to run at defenders and have a good go at them. I mean, the defenders are doing well. Thomas and Ricardo Pereira, they're doing really, really well to try and sort out the defence. I think maybe they've got to try and get Smith a little bit more involved, maybe Young Hobe as well. Those two haven't really got involved. It's mainly been Sorba, Thomas, Cisse and Seko for me, though.
Yeah, I agree. We've not seen too much of Smith, and when we have seen him, of course, there was that slightly disappointing miss he had earlier in the second half when really he should have hit the target, but dragged the ball so far wide he never even hit the side netting. As Stoke now back in possession here on the halfway line with Aaron Cresswell out towards the left-hand side. Bocat has been blocked here by Jeremy Monga, so he's able to hold on to it and play it short now towards Seko. Seko into Smith, but he was well marshalled there by Ben Nelson. And so it is out for a throw to Stoke. Bocat is across, taking 62 minutes on the clock. It is still 1-1 here between Stoke and Leicester. So just see on our screens now, it's Divine Mukasa who actually got the goal for Leicester City to make it 1-1 in this game. The ball is now taken short here between Bocat and Cresswell. Cresswell getting towards the edge of the area before running it out of play himself. Out now for a throw to Leicester.
Yeah, and that's a play from Stoke. Leicester are doing well though when Stoke are trying to get forward, even though they've got bodies forward of Stoke. Leicester are doing well to kind of cut out the balls, but they're still maybe a little bit open in midfield at the moment.
They are. There's going to be an attacking change now here for a like-for-like swap pretty much, with Joe Aribo coming on to replace Jeremy Monga.
Yeah, indeed. Monga's played well within this game. He wasn't maybe really as used as he would have liked to, maybe in
certainly not in the first half. Yeah, exactly. The first half it was anonymous, but has had a couple of decent runs down the right, and it may well be the fact that he's been able to do that. It's just encouraged Gary Rowett to get on Joe Aribo, a bit more experience, a bit more strength there as well. Jeremy Monga collecting high fives all round. He's certainly not happy there, the youngster. Don't blame him, of course. He's always going to want to play. Always just understand how young a player he is. The fact he's not even allowed to have his club's shirt sponsor on his shirt, because you obviously have to be 18 if it's going to be a betting company. So it really is made big strides, and of course made a Premier League debut age 15 last season, Jeremy Monga. So you just feel as though there is still so much more to come from him. Oh
yeah, definitely. If you can get him involved in the game, he does start to open it up a little bit for Leicester. It's a little bit like Fatawu. I watched Leicester in their first few opening games or so, and I thought Monga and Fatawu played really, really well off each other. They had a nice little rhythm going, and maybe that does get a little bit disrupted sometimes when Monga doesn't play as much, or Fatawu doesn't play as much, because you've got the likes of Mukasa, you've got the likes of Mavididi as well, so you've got to always kind of be interchanging with those sorts of players, and maybe that takes Monga out of his stride a little bit. But definitely for this game, within that first half, wasn't being used as much, so for me that sometimes can knock a little bit of his confidence.
Yes, I think so. I think that and also even older players, when they're substituted, there's always that sort of reaction of, well, what have I done wrong? Sometimes it can just be tactical, that it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're playing badly, but players always feel as though it might be because of that, so there's always going to be that element of it as well. But Leicester, since Monga's gone off, they've been pretty much seeing the ball all the time in this last minute or so, just stuck in midfield as Pereira find Winks, and now it's Divine with a sensational ball in towards it's got to be 2-1. But the offside flag comes up with a bit of a delay there. I mean, that pass to play in Mavididi was absolutely sensational, but as it turns out, the linesman was always going to come up with a flag anyway.
Yeah, it was indeed. Lovely ball through, though, towards Mavididi, and the offside flag is saved in there because he's got to put that one away, or at least square it across, because he had Patson Daka in there as well. We will see a replay of it. Yeah, Miles offside this time. Maybe look at Phillips, but Phillips was nowhere near him. And for me there, you've either got to square it or put it into the back of the net. He doesn't do either. It's a good save in the end by Simkin, but like I said, the offside flag has saved Mavididi.
It has, yeah. I mean, his technique, they let him down because he opened up his body so early that Simkin could see exactly what he was going to do. And as he was doing that, he was also running further down that left-hand side, so the angles are getting tighter. It made it that bit easier for Simkin to make the save. But now this is good work down from Bocat down the left-hand side. He ran a long way to keep that ball in play for Stoke. He plays it back towards Cisse. Now it's within Zonzi. Over towards Phillips. Sorba Thomas now down the right-hand side, being blocked off here by Luke Thomas. Quick ball in towards Bay, but he's dispossessed. And now Mukasa's back here for Leicester City. Try and get his side back in possession, but he's given that ball away straight away to Seko, who's then overplayed it himself Ball back towards the halfway line. Leicester felt as though that Seiko left a boot in there, but the referee disagrees, and Stoke come back in now down the right-hand side. Zorba Thomas with the cross. It gets a big deflection, or does he just know? He actually lifted too high in the end, and it's just sailed out for a goal kick.
Yeah, poor from Zorba Thomas. He knows there as well. He says it needs more curve on the ball. He knows what he needed to do looking back at that situation. It's a poor one from him. We don't see many of them do happen though from Zorba Thomas, and on that occasion, well, he was looking to try and hoist it towards the far post, and in the end just got it wrong.
He did, yeah, and as I say, it's uncharacteristic of him. He's been decent in this game. He's been decent all season for Stoke, but here come Leicester now with Winks through the middle, out towards the right-hand side for Ricardo Pereira. To Winks again, now it's with Skip, 35 yards from goal. Luke Thomas in towards Mavididi, just at the edge of the area. Mavididi goes for goal, and he forces a save from Simkin, and that will go out for a corner. Yeah,
really out of nothing, that one from Mavididi, but didn't have many players to try and pass it towards, because Stoke got back in numbers again this time, so he saw the space sort of open up and thought, well, I might as well just have a go. He did have the overlap of Mukasa, used him as a little bit of a decoy, just opened up that right foot, just took the strike very comfortably as well, and it's one of them that was bending in, and had Simkin not got to it, it would have been maybe 2-1 for Leicester.
Yeah, it was looking like it could have been on target. Still a corner kick though for Leicester City. There's still more work for Stoke to do in defence, and it's Leicester's goal scorer, the left-footed Divine Mukasa, who's come across to take this corner. It will be an in-swinger from the right-hand side. A punch there from the goalkeeper. He's got a little bit tangled there with one of the Leicester players. In fact, too much of a tangle there. It's the same two suspects again. It's Ollie Skip and Tommy Simkin, but it's been given in favour of the Stoke keeper this time, a free kick.
Yeah, as indeed. I think Oliver Skip just backed in towards the goalkeeper, but he did really well to get a hand into it. We'll just watch the replay yet again. Yeah, Oliver Skip is just blocking him off, hoisting him back in towards his net, and Simkin actually does really well to punch the ball out, because it's one of them where he could have come out for it and actually fallen over.
Absolutely. And the other thing as well is that there's at no point in that entire sequence of play does Skip even look at where the ball is. I mean, he's aware of more or less where the cross is coming from, but other than that, he's only worried about blocking the goalkeeper. So certainly the referee, Gavin Wood, was well within his rights to give Stoke a free kick for that one. Coming up to 69 minutes gone here at the Bet365 Stadium. It is 1-1 between Stoke City and Leicester City. I'll just, before I hand over, we'll just stop here, because the two Thomases are coming to blows here. It's Luke Thomas and Zorba Thomas. It seemed like the most innocuous thing ever here, Joe. It's just gone out for a throw. It's on the halfway line as well, so it's not even in an attacking position, but as I say, the Leicester left back and the Stoke right winger are absolutely furious, and Zorba Thomas is suggesting an elbow there.
He is indeed. We'll have a replay of it. Obviously the linesman will be in the referee's ear, and he's still going at it. Is Zorba Thomas. He runs towards the referee. The referee is of course telling everybody to go away. I only want captains within me, but that really came from nothing. Luke Thomas is around Zorba Thomas. Zorba Thomas is having yet again another go at Luke Thomas, and for me the referee is pulling them both together. Will award a yellow card for Zorba Thomas and for Luke Thomas in the way that they have both reacted towards whatever happened. It just went out for a simple throw in, and well, I can't see what was wrong. Yeah, I mean, he does lead in with an elbow, but Zorba Thomas
the reaction from Zorba Thomas seems excessive unless we see another angle of the first. It looked to me like he was suspecting that Luke Thomas wanted to use an elbow, but actually looking at that replay, there didn't seem to be any kind of gesture there from Luke Thomas to try and. No, I mean, Zorba Thomas is now showing that he was launched at with an elbow. That definitely didn't happen. I think he's exaggerated that, but it is a yellow card for him. It is a yellow card for Luke Thomas as well, and we're going to see some substitutions here now for both sides. But just as we're doing that, I'll just hand over. It's Joe Pearson now to take us through towards full time.
Yeah, well, Schmidt is coming off of the field, and I believe that Miljan Manhoef will be in replace of him. It is looking like he will be, so I do wonder if he'll go into that striker role. And the other player is Bokar, who will be coming off of the field. I couldn't quite see who was replacing him. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment. We can see that Manhoef is definitely coming onto the field. Gibson is in replace of Bokar there, so I do wonder, well, Gibson has got some instructions, a little bit of piece of paper, maybe a formation change or a tactical change coming here for Stoke.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, as I say, it wouldn't really make sense for Stoke to be defending a 1-1 draw here against Leicester. They still need to be going for the win, but say they probably have been rattled by just how much Leicester have improved in the second half.
Yeah, indeed. We do have some scores around League One. It is looking like, I believe that Cisse has gone onto the right-hand side. No, sorry, Cisse has gone to striker position. So the Thomas has gone out onto the right where he will stay. Manhoef is on the left-hand side, and Young Hobe is through the middle of the park. That is looking like now how Stoke will line up, and I do believe they've gone to that flat back three.
They have now, yeah. I wonder what the thing is. Is it just to give them that extra body in midfield to potentially have more of an attacking option? That's probably what they're thinking of.
Yeah, possibly. So we can see that Aaron Cresswell has come onto that left-hand side. So of course they'll go to that back three. But maybe does that give Leicester City maybe more of a wide option to play with now?
Potentially, I think that bringing on Gibson as well just gives them that little bit of an extra body in defence if they feel like they may have to defend some set pieces before the end of the game as well.
Yeah, they probably do. As a ball from Mukasa was trying to find Mavididi, and in the end it just rolls straight out of place. I'll tell you about a few goals that have gone in. Plymouth have scored from a penalty in that game against Cardiff, so it's Plymouth 4, Cardiff 2. Doncaster have taken the lead against Rotherham. In that game it is 2-1, and in the game between Wycombe and Stevenage it is Wycombe 2, Stevenage 1 as well. Of course, in our game it is Stoke 1, Leicester 1. Both teams were looking for the 3 points today to get Leicester, trying to get them out of the relegation zone, and Stoke to try and push them up into that playoff position really, and trying to get them higher up at the table so they can put some pressure on the players, the teams that are in the playoffs. But at the moment it is still goalless. It's still a draw, sorry, shall I say, as the ball just rolls straight through to Asmir Begovic, who hasn't had maybe much to do with it this second half.
He's been much the quieter goalkeeper really in the second half. In fairness, it's not as if he was overloaded with work in the first half. It's just there was more happening in front of his goal, whereas in the second half Leicester have improved and Stoke have just sort of backed off a little bit as well.
Yeah, indeed, as the ball is played to Mavididi on this left-hand side. He goes downfield with it. Phillips does really well there to stretch a leg out, because had he not, Patson Daka was just in behind him. Obviously, he did have Gibson as well to his right-hand side. Would have been a bit of a struggle as ball from Mukasa onto his left-hand side yet again, looking for Mavididi, but it's cut out by Nzonzi. And just leave it to go for a throw-in. I believe it'll be a long throw-in coming in here. I wonder if Phillips has maybe gone onto that right-hand side now. Gibson is playing more as the central defender, and Wilmot has gone onto that left centre-back role as well. That looks how the back three is sort of lining up, as Luke Thomas is going to take this throw in. We know he can take a long throw in. We know it can be one that can be dangerous for teams to try and defend. Ball inside the box, then it's headed away by Gibson. Comes back out towards Luke Thomas. Wants to fire it back in. Does so. Into Mukasa, who'll try the shot. Oh, it's just wide of the post. Simkin then just had to stand and watch. And well, possibly Mukasa should have been getting that one on target from that sort of range.
Well, he scored a great goal earlier in the game, but this potentially might have actually been an easier chance. It's Luke Thomas on the left-hand side, lifts that ball in. I mean, the technique is fantastic here from Mukasa. The way the ball just drops over his shoulder, and it's never that far away, but always just angling away from goal, unfortunately. Yeah,
it is indeed. He tried to get the bend on it, but in the end, a little bit too much curve. It didn't curve exactly maybe the way he wanted it, and in the end, well, it's another missed opportunity for Leicester to try and get them really in front in this game. I do wonder if maybe some substitutions will come for Leicester, and maybe they'll try and bring on some more attacking changes to try and get a goal, as Stoke have tried to do so with Manhoef coming onto the field as well in place of Smith. Of course, Gibson coming on as the holding defender to try and push more players upfield. The throw-in is taken by Leicester, but Stoke have won back possession of the ball. It was a mistake by Seko there. Couldn't quite get the ball from underneath his feet. Ricardo Pereira plays it into Mukasa, where he looked like he wanted to open up there and shoot, but plays it to Mavididi. Mavididi cuts it onto that right foot, will try the shot. He's blocked out. Falls onto this right-hand side, onto Harry Winks. He'll try the shot, and it's into the back of the net. And Leicester do have the lead in this game, and it's Harry Winks.
It is Harry Winks, and I tell you what, when they scored their equaliser, they just picked the ball up and ran to the halfway line. They are not doing that this time. They are properly celebrating this goal. Winks diving into that corner where the away fans are. The away end goes absolutely mad, and you have to say, based on this second half performance, Leicester deserve it.
Yeah, indeed, it has been coming for this Leicester City side. I mean, Stoke can get back in numbers all they want, but that time they didn't defend that really well. Aribo managed to get his head onto the ball before any Stoke players did, and in the end, well, Winks wasn't closed down quick enough.
He wasn't, and Winks has been doing that all his career. He has got a good shot at him from a distance, and Mukasa, the little back heel from Mukasa just to tee it up for Winks as well. That really is lovely stuff there from Leicester City. And take nothing away, because Winks has still got work to do here. He's got to get a bit of bend and a bit of angle on it to get it away from the keeper and find the corner. He does all of that. Yeah,
for me there though, there's Seiko and Young Ho Bae, who both turn their back away from the ball there as it's coming towards them. I know from that sort of distance you kind of have to maybe try and turn your back, but then it leaves a little bit of a gap for the ball to kind of get through. Had they maybe stayed straight on and maybe come at it, maybe one of them had decided to close it down, it could have maybe come off the foot, but they couldn't quite get their foot straight out and into a lengthy position.
No, they couldn't. I think it just all happened a little bit too quickly from Stoke's point of view. They've been, I don't want to say they've been caught cold, because it's not as if Leicester have just come out of nowhere with this kind of attacking possession, but it does seem as though Stoke almost just felt they could ride it out, and that's certainly not the case. And they're in trouble now, because Leicester are going to really want to defend this lead.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Leicester City have now come out of the relegation zone. It's Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford and West Brom who are in it, but of course only 1 point does separate these sides, but it does separate 1 point as well from Portsmouth maybe dropping in as well, Cresswell's going on to this left hand side. I do wonder if maybe he's coming off, maybe a substitution coming for Stoke. He looked like he may have pulled up with a little bit of an injury here. I can't exactly see. It looked like he was heading down towards the touchline. I wonder if maybe he's just switching positions for the time being. Does look, yeah, no, it looks like he's just coming back onto this left-hand side from the corner, but he looked to be wincing in some pain.
Yeah, as I say, Cresswell would say one of the more experienced players, which is a polite way of saying one of the older players in this Stoke side, so it may well be that he feels there's a little bit of pain there. They've got to manage this as well, because they've already made two different separate substitutions, and Zonzi came on for Pearson in one bank of substitution, and then it was Manhoef and Gibson that came on next. So if they're going to take off Cresswell, they may want to take off another player at the same time, because they won't be able to make any more after that. And yeah, it's almost like Gary Rowett's listening to our commentary, because they're going to make a change, but it's not actually Cresswell at all. He's okay to play on, it would seem, and it looks to me like it's going to be John Ho Bae to go off.
It is indeed, and Raksaki will replace him then. I mean, for me, Young Ho Bae hasn't really been lively in this game. He's been maybe blocked out by the Leicester City players. He's not really been involved. Seko has been, like I've been saying, but Young Ho Bae not as much.
No, he's not been for a player who's supposed to be a number 10 on paper, and he's got number 10 on his shirt as well. Didn't really do much in that role today.
Yeah, maybe wanted. Well, he didn't really go through him. He didn't really go towards him. Really, did the ball, and he may have had to do a few more defensive duties than he would have liked, but as well. Well, I'll cut off to this thought in a minute, because the ball is through. Mavididi tries the shot. Oh, yet again, it's a chance. It's a big chance for Mavididi. It was bending towards that far post. He wobbled over his ankle as he tried the shot. But yet again, he's got to be scoring, or at least putting it on target.
He does. I mean, this is another good chance for Leicester City. Nice patient build-up here. Mavididi is getting into all the right positions. I'll tell you what, it's not a bad effort. I mean, as I say, he should be testing the keeper from there, but it's a very clever way of actually trying to get curl on the ball, which is actually on the deck the entire time.
Yeah, well, Patson Daka has gone down. Mavididi is back up towards his feet. Patson Daka there went down to the floor. He's now back up towards his feet, but Stoke have a chance to try and equalise up the game then with Aaron Cresswell on his left-hand side. Onto Nzonzi, back to Sorba Thomas. Thomas cuts inside to his right foot. Can't find the ball inside of the box, though. Neither can Cresswell. Both finding their pathway blocked for the time being. Ball is into Phillips. On to Gibson then. He passes it through to Wilmot. Wilmot tries to get the ball to Cisse. In the end, it does come off of Luke Thomas and goes out for a throw-in. Well, actually, sorry, it's Raksaki on that right-hand side now. It's looking like Manhoef has gone into that number 10 role, and it's got Cisse up top. Ball is trying to be played through by Raksaki. Cisse is being held up there, but it will be a free kick for Leicester instead for his challenge on Ben Nelson. So like I said, it's looking like Raksaki will now play on that right hand side, and Manhoef has gone into that number 10 position.
He has, yeah. Manhoef just is slightly behind the forward there. Whether or not there's enough time left in the game for actually Stoke to really get that going and put some pressure on Leicester, because as we say, they've been in this sort of mode of being quite sort of defensive minded and not really getting many players forward for most of the second half. But look at that touch map there for Divine Mukasa. He's been absolutely everywhere this afternoon, Joe. He's been through the middle, down the right hand side, down the left, in defence, in attack. He really has had an excellent midfielder's performance.
Yeah, indeed. I do wonder if maybe they make a few defensive changes now, Leicester, but you know, maybe flashbacks to that Southampton loss where.
Well, they've still got three substitutions left, albeit just in the one bank, because they took off Thomas in the first. Thomas had to come on in the first half, and then Mongo was replaced later into the second half. But I think overall, Gary Rowett will be very pleased with his side so far. They just got to try and see out the next 10 minutes or so.
Oh, indeed, especially with the way they've come back into this game. Patson Daka has gone down here. Obviously, he went down within the first instance, but it doesn't stop Stoke from attacking here with Manhoef down his left-hand side. He tries to cut it back inside. He was looking for Seko in there. He's got to be a little bit of a better ball. And Patson Daka is still on the floor. It's not a head injury. They don't have to stop this game as much as the Gary Rowett is arguing here. Stoke don't have to put the ball out. It's not a head injury. It's up to them if they do, but the ball does go out for a corner kick. So now the referee maybe can bring onto the physios onto the field, because it's not looking good for Patson Daka. No,
it's not looking good at all here. Patson Daka looks to be in a really bad way there, and I can't really see how this happened exactly here with the number 20 for Leicester City. As you said, Gary Rowett certainly wasn't impressed, but then if his side were in that same position, he wouldn't expect them to come out. I mean, Pearson, to me, Gibson definitely gets the ball first, but there is a little bit of stud onto the ankle there just after the pass as well.
Yeah, there is indeed, and he did go down before it, so I wonder if it's the same ankle that maybe he went down previously with, and then it's hurt him again, and the studs on the boot of, the studs on the ankle have then hurt it even more. I think it's looking like they will bring on a substitution. It's looking like they're recalling some players. I wonder if will it be a like for like, or do you think it may be a defensive change now?
I think it possibly may be a midfielder, and asking one of the midfielders who are on the field already to just push that a little bit further up the field. Just looking at the bench, I'm trying to think who they might be considering here from Leicester City. I mean, Daka, the way he's walking off the field now, you never want to say too early. It doesn't look good. I do think he may have to be substituted.
Yeah, indeed, obviously he's got to go for that 30 seconds having the physios being brought on, so maybe it gives him 30 seconds to try and recalibrate and give him a little bit of breather. Does he want to come off? You don't really want to pick up an injury like that and then come back onto the field and make it worse for yourself, so he's got to think that one through as well. He seems alright to come back onto the field though. He is hobbling and trying to stretch off that ankle, but got a corner here for Stoke. Anyway, ball inside the box, but it's wide of the post by Gibson in the end. And well, I think he needed the flick on more than trying to go towards that near post. It wasn't really troubling Asmir Begovic in the end.
No, it wasn't. No, that header's going to go over the bar, and now Begovic Begovic is good at the dark arts. He knows how to wind up an opposition team. There he was looking behind the goal for a ball, and the ball was already at the edge of his own 6-yard box with Caleb Akuli, so he's always trying to just delay things. Patson Daka, well, there you go. I mean, but I think both of us probably were erring to thinking that he can't come back on the field, but there he is.
Yeah, can come back on then. Seems fit to be all right, but like I said, it's one of them where you don't really want to make it worse than it already is. So we'll see if he goes down again here. We'll see how he plays. Well, if they try and thread a ball through, does he still have the pace of that worried ankle then as the ball goes out of play here for a Leicester throw-in? They're taking their time with it now. Mark Robbins isn't happy, and Ricardo Pereira, well, he's touching his head, but the referee Gavin Ward will tell him to hurry things up. Plymouth 5, Cardiff 2 in that game in League One, so that's a big shock towards the top of the table. Teams like Lincoln and Bradford will be looking at that one and going, yes, we need more of that then. And QPR have gone 2-1 up in their game against Hull. Benny seems to be the goal scorer 4 minutes after coming on. he has grabbed himself maybe the winner of that game. You never know. In our game, there's still 5 minutes left to be played, and definitely additional stoppage time. I won't be surprised if we see 4 minutes, 5 minutes being put up onto the board then for the injuries, the goal, and the substitutions that we've had within this second half. But it's Stoke 1, Leicester 2. Stoke needing an equaliser really within this game. Leicester will be happy just to hold on for the 3 points, but for me here, Stoke aren't really putting on the pressure in the defence.
No, they're not. I mean, it's hard to try and understand really what's happened with Stoke, because they came out in the first half with all the right sort of intent and the way they wanted to sort of take it to a Leicester side that are a little bit nervous. They haven't had a win since early January. Now you're looking at some of the faces of the Stoke fans there that were just getting shots off, and they look genuinely quite confused. They don't really understand how this game has gone the way it's gone, because it's almost like Stoke, out of their own free will, have just backed off and given Leicester the time and the space to get into the game, and Leicester have used that.
Nobody is really smiling from the Stoke fans. They're all shaking their heads as well, as Leicester have an attacking opportunity here down this right-hand side. Aribo tries to turn away from his man Cresswell. He nearly does so. He tries to thread it through to Ricardo Pereira, who is just getting himself out and about now upfield and really causing a nuisance within this Stoke side defence. Cresswell did well though to block off the pass, but it leads them to a throw in, and I guess it'll be a long throw in by Luke Thomas. Oh no, Ricardo Pereira will be the man to take the throw in, and it's a short one this time into the path of Harry Winks. He plays the throw to Mukasa. Winks gets it back then. Well, plays the ball into a position where there's no one in blue shirts, only in red and white. Cole's got to deal with that. He does so as the long ball goes high inside of the air for Stoke. Ball down this right hand side now for Aribo, but he can't keep it in there. A little bit of sloppy play there from Aribo.
A little bit, yeah. He's not really had the impact, I think, since coming on the bench, compared to how dangerous Munga was on that right hand side.
Indeed, so he's just trying to thread a ball through. Ooh, dangerous one from Simkin there. And maybe Patson Daka stretched out a foot there. May have been a costly decision to make, but it works out in the end. Seko tries to get his team moving forward here with Raksaki. Raksaki will just pass it inside to Nzonzi. Nzonzi onto this left-hand side then for Sorba Thomas. Thomas goes inside to the right foot, will deliver one inside of the box toward the back stick, and it's in towards the back of the net, and it's Wilmot who has got the goal for Stoke. He scored the first and he scored the second. Leicester look towards the linesman, but I don't think he's going to give the offside flag on this one.
Well, it's a strange one, because he was still wagging his finger towards the linesman after the goal had been scored. Now there's high fives all round. It looks like the goal's going to be given. There is, of course, no VAR at the championship level, so there's no way for the officials to disallow it now, unless they have a quick conference amongst each other and then decide somebody can be offside. I've seen that a couple of times where the referee just confirms with the linesman, who do you think was offside? But there's no debate. There's only one goal scorer. It's not like it's a line of players. So we'll see from this replay. Well, Wilmot's certainly not offside, and I don't think the player that goes for the ball first, Cisse, I don't think he's offside either.
No, indeed, I don't think they are. It's a lovely ball inside of the box, and Wilmot there is unmarked to the back stick. It's got to be a little bit better defending, but look at that ball from Sorba Thomas. It is actually missed by Cisse. He doesn't get a touch onto it. It just falls directly for Wilmot. Well, he can't miss from that sort of angle, really. There's a long ball downfield here. Was looking for Patson Daka, just rolls straight through to Simkin.
Strange one there, isn't it? We were coming up to injury time. We're going to get the fourth official's board in less than 30 seconds. But with the scoreline now at 2-2, when we take the whole of the game, is this a fair scoreline, or will Leicester feel as though they've been hard done by, considering how they've come back into this game?
I think for the second half, I think Stoke really don't deserve an equaliser. I think Leicester, I think a draw is suitable for the game,
yeah,
but not for the second half. We'll get 6 minutes of additional time then put up by the fourth official, obviously for substitution, stoppages and the goals as well. But I think Leicester will feel a little bit done by that it's a draw, especially with the way they've come into this second half. But all round, Stoke played better in the first ball inside the box here, while Simkin was diving for it, but in the end it just goes out of play from Luke Thomas. But yeah, maybe a draw is a suitable one. I feel like Leicester might be felt that hard done by, but it comes back maybe for Mavididi, who's had 2 chances to put it in the back of the net and has missed both.
He has missed both. That has been the problem, I think, for Leicester. They had their spell in the second half when they really were on top. They they got their equaliser, but perhaps didn't quite have enough to actually go for the winner. And now with 5 minutes of injury time to play, it's still all to play for.
It is indeed. Long ball forward for Stoke to try and chase them with Thomas on this left-hand side. He's got support there from Cisse. Now we'll use him. Cisse on this left-hand side then. Plenty of bodies to aim at inside of the box. Tries to cut inside that left foot. Well defended by Harry Winks. And Winks puts up his arm to say it's ours. And Cisse, well, he's not happy with the decision. It's gone out for a goal kick. I did think Harry Winks got the last touch onto it, but I'll have to see a replay of it. Winks turns around to Cisse and goes, no, never. It's all ours. But it is a goal kick there for Leicester City. I do wonder if maybe Leicester start to make a change also, maybe a few tired legs now within this squad, and you look towards your bench and go, right, let me see who I can bring on.
Absolutely. Well, there's, from Leicester's point of view, because they're now trying to sort of work out, do we try and make a change to go for the winner? Do we just sort of maintain what we have? Would Leicester have taken a 2-2 draw before kickoff? They probably would have, without even sort of seeing how the second half went, where they might feel a little bit hard done by.
Indeed, long ball forward then. Well, it's hacked away by Nelson. Well, Gibson makes a little bit of a meal of it. Well, for me there, Gibson's got arms around the neck of passing Daka. Referee doesn't give it though. In towards Mukasa, wants to fire open. Aribo cuts inside that left foot, passes it back to Mukasa. It's a scramble around the edge of the box, and in the end, well, Raksaki manages to clear the lines of the Stoke defence. It was a scramble from Leicester City, but they will come back now on this left-hand side with Luke Thomas. Thomas finds a pass to Mavididi. He'll try the shot. Oh, it's gone miles wide of the post. Never troubling Simking.
Sadly, it's been the same all afternoon for Mavididi. For all the good work he's put in on that left-hand side, he's just not had his shooting boots on today.
He has it indeed, but that earlier chance there for Leicester, so much of a scramble really, and I think they were off put by how many bodies Stoke had back.
It was just too difficult to navigate past all those players, absolutely. And you can see Gary Rowett now, he'll be a little bit happier than what he was, say, 5-7 minutes ago when... less happy, I should say, than he would have been 5-7 minutes ago when his side were 2-1 up in this game. But the problem, I think, for Leicester is that they are still very fragile. You know, they have had a really tough time of it in the last 2 months. So, as I say, the league table does show that they are still in relegation, but at least they've made a point up on West Brom. But at one point, of course, they could have actually been out of the relegation zone altogether.
Yeah, 3 minutes left to go of the additional time that was put up by the fourth official. It's finished at West Brom. West Brom 0, Coventry 2. So Leicester will be happy with that one towards the bottom of the table then. Well, I think Sheffield Wednesday will be as well. They needed West Brom to lose. Obviously, they do go towards Sheffield United, and Sheffield United can relegate them. If they do win against Sheffield United, they'd have to win all their games to, well, make sure that they could be out of the relegation zone. So a tough battle for them. It's a tough battle back for Leicester as well, especially within this game, with the way that they started the second half coming out. They've dominated really this Stoke side. They didn't in the first half, but they've had chances to put the game to bed as well.
They have. That has been the issue, I think. And now with Stoke, with this free kick, we've still got 90 seconds to play, and it's going to be a long ball in here from Zorba Thomas. Yeah,
a long ball, but it's headed away by a Colite, and the full officials, the linesman, flag on the other side has been put up for an offside. Then, just to let you know, though, Leicester, well, you're back in the relegation zone. West Brom on 34 points, Leicester on 33 then. I mean, it's so close. You've got Portsmouth are on 36, West Brom are on 34, and Leicester on 33, so it's very close towards the bottom of the table. Oxford as well on 28. There you go, and play against Middlesbrough at 3 o'clock as well. They'll be hoping as well for the West Brom loss, and maybe looking at this Leicester side and going, yep, they'll take a draw or a loss as well. But Leicester here, well, I think they've got to try and push bodies forward here. They've got a minute to go, and they do need 3 points.
They do, they really do. It would certainly give them a boost in their fight, and they've just won the ball back here in midfield.
They have indeed. Mukasa turns away from his player nicely. He's continuing to go down this left-hand side. He can't get the ball from underneath his feet. He continues to go, turns away from Raksaki. It's inside the box. Aribo shot. Oh, it's saved by Simking. Away by Gibson. And, well, it was nearly cut clear by Cisse. Leicester still have it. It's been kept alive on the right-hand side. Winks puts the ball inside the box towards the far post. It's headed away, though, by Wilmot in the end. And straight out of play there for a throw in on that left hand side. It has finished Swansea 1, Bristol City nil, and I believe it has finished Hull 1, QPR 3. QPR have just scored a third goal, but what a chance for Aribo.
Great chance. He's got to score that. I mean, he's worrying too much about keeping it low when he just drags it straight at the keeper. Oh, it comes in. It's a long throw into the penalty area, headed on, and it's just about palmed away from underneath the crossbar there by Simpkins. Still a chance here for Leicester.
It is indeed. Mukasa cuts one back, tries the shot. It's going cross. Oh, he's come off the post. The header's come off the post. It's away by Stoke in the end. It's a scramble in the end. It's Luke Thomas who couldn't get onto the end of it, and well, Simpkin there has been guarded by a force field around the net. The referee's full-time whistle has blown, and what an ending towards this game. Leicester will feel so hard done by there in the end. 4 brilliant opportunities to put it into the back of the net. In the end, it wasn't to be for Luke Thomas, who's hit the post within the final second of the game. But I've got to say, Gary Rowett has got to be happy with the way his side have played today, especially with the heart they've had to come back at this Stoke side. But in the end, it is Stoke who, well, in the end, it is a draw. It is at the Bet365 Stadium. It has finished Stoke 2, Leicester City 2.